Welcome to episode 2 of Critical Role meets The Traitors, or The Traitors meets Critical Role. Still not quite decided on that one. Anyway, based on the votes that you guys gave me in the comments, and on Instagram, and on TikTok, and on my Discord, and in the DMs that some of you sent me, we have decided who you guys want to vote out and accuse of being a traitor. So, let's see how this round table goes, and as always, I am terribly sorry for my poor attempts at voicing all of these characters. Well, darlings, much as I'm enjoying your absolute chaos, someone has to go. But who's it going to be? That decision lies entirely in your hands. So let's hear it. Your tricks, your betrayals, your thoughts, your feelings, and most importantly, your votes. Who do you want to leave? Who do you not trust? Who do you think is pulling the wool over your eyes? Let's hear it then. I do not trust that small one with the guitar. He was playing songs and literally saying, I am a traitor, and I know his friends in Vox Machina are saying it is a joke, but I do not think this is the place for such jokes, so I vote for Scanlan. I think you are a traitor, and if you are not, you are being weird. Yeah, I think Yasha's right. I want to vote for Scanlan too. You're just messing with my head, man. And if you're not a traitor, you're being well weird, just like Yasha said. Like, why would you sing those songs? It's just kind of crazy. You're kind of asking for us to vote you out. It's like you want to go. So that kind of weirdly makes me think you're not a traitor. But if you don't want to be here, then I guess, don't be here. So yeah, I think you're a traitor. And if you're not a traitor, then get out anyway, I guess. Sorry, Scanlan. Or not sorry, actually.
Yeah, Scanlan, you have to admit you've been behaving kind of weird, and we're all kind of used to it, but they're really not, and Scanlan, there's more of them than there are of us, so I reckon they're gonna vote you out anyway, buddy. Sorry.
But singing songs is what I do! I'm a bard, people! Come on! Can anyone take a joke? Guys!
Well, I don't know if you're a traitor, Scanlan, but, we don't have much else to go on, and you have been singing those, really creepy songs going, I am a traitor, tee-hee-hee, which isn't very original anyway, and so, yeah, I'm going to have to vote for you, because, if nothing else, we don't really have much else to go on. So, sorry, Scanlan, I vote for you too.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm gonna vote for you as well, Scanlan. I can't get past the songs, and they're just a little repetitive, if nothing else, so I vote for you as well, and if you're not a traitor, then maybe if you play this game again, try not saying, I am a traitor, and you might get a bit further. Yeah, I vote for Scanlan too.
Thank you, Fjord, I knew you'd see sense.
Darling, I'm sorry, but you have to admit, you're not doing yourself any favours, and well, there are more of them than there are of us. We have to stick together and start behaving like faithfuls, so unfortunately, Scanlan, I may have to vote for you as well, but I'm undecided because I simply do not believe you are a traitor. I do, however, believe you deserve to be voted out. I agree with my sister. Oh, do you, darling? Yes. Well, Scanlan, I don't think you're a traitor either, but I see nothing else we can really do at this point.
Do you, brother?
I do, sister.
Well, thank you for the vote of confidence.
Always. Guys, come on! I just sang a few songs. That doesn't make me an actual traitor. You don't think if I was an actual traitor, I'd be singing songs saying I was a traitor? Guys, come on! Guys! To be honest, Scanlan, I don't think you're a traitor either. I think you're fucking hilarious, but, we got nothing else to go on, so I'm gonna have to vote for you because, well, your name's been brought up so many times, it's one of the only ones I can actually remember, so I'm gonna have to go for you, but I genuinely don't think you're a traitor, and if you are playing a crazy game, my dude. Scanlan, you have been a joy. You are hilarious, and I love you. But I'm gonna vote for you because we just need to know at this point, are you screwing with us? And to be honest, I expect you are, and we will miss your songs, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go with you.
I think that I am going to vote for Scanlan too, because, well, I've got no idea what's going on, and I can barely remember the rules of the game. So, yep, Scanlan, I'm voting for you because you seem dodgy as hell, and your songs are actually kind of annoying and very repetitive.
I must admit I am not sure about you, Scanlan. On the one hand, you could be singing these songs to double or triple bluff us. You could be a traitor trying to cover his tracks, or you could be a faithful trying to be funny, or You could be a traitor trying to be bold and out there so that we think a traitor wouldn't be that stupid. Either way, I think I shall go with the majority and vote for you. I know you are not a traitor, Scanlan, but I feel I may have to vote for you anyway. I am sorry for this, though. You seem like an interesting soul.
I think it's very interesting that a lot of you have decided to vote for someone in Vox Machina, and I am a little concerned that because you have more people, you are going to just vote all of us out until it's just you left. But remember that once there is only members of the Mighty Nine left, you will be left fighting amongst yourselves, and you will have to turn on each other.
I think that Keyleth has a very valid point there. You will have to turn on each other at some point. I'm not saying it may as well be now, but I'm not saying it may as well be now. However, Scanlan, I do concede you have made yourself seem utterly suspicious, and were I a traitor, I would have considered murdering you purely for how repetitive your songs were.
Now, can we all just take a minute? Scanlan is a good guy, and I'm sure he would never, ever betray us. And I liked his songs, actually. I thought they were fun and catchy, and they only had a few words, which meant I could memorise them, which made me feel happy.
I'm actually not going to vote for Scanlan because I think someone else has been kind of dodgy, but I know I'm going to get outvoted, so I will just save that for next time, maybe. Or if anyone wants to talk to me about it later, then they can do.
Ooh, Pike, who do you think's dodgy?
I'll tell you later, buddies.
Well, it looks like you've all made your decisions. So, Scanlan, you are voted out and you are leaving the castle. But before you go, you must reveal to us, were you a faithful or were you a treacherous traitor? The floor is yours, my dear.
You know, it's at times like this where we all realise who our true friends really are. And I hope you all feel really bad because I am a faithful. Ha! See you later.
And now we're going to eavesdrop on a few conversations going on in the castle, starting with Pike and Grog.
I can't believe they voted out Scanlan. I'm gonna miss my Scan man. It's already too quiet in here. Where are all the songs? There must be some sort of record player we can put some CDs on.
Buddy, you know you can't put CDs on a record player. Never mind.
So, Pike, who do you think's dodgy? And, it's not me, is it?
Buddy, if you were a traitor, would you have already told me?
No.
You mean yes, don't you, Grog?
No.
Look, I'm not sure yet, but there's some people in the Mighty Nine who I definitely think are behaving weird. And, to be honest, there's some people in Vox Machina behaving weird too, but I'm not absolutely sure yet. Let's see how today goes, and I'll tell you tonight, okay?
Alright.
Meanwhile, down the hall in the parlour, Kingsley, Fjord, and Jester are having a chat.
I think everyone's been looking amazing. Everyone brought such good outfits.
I mean, I didn't really dress for the occasion.
No, I packed your suitcase for you.
Oh, well, that was very kind. Thank you, Jester.
I wanted you to look really, really, really good so that Auntie can see you and know that you're amazing.
He doesn't already think that?
No, not yet, but I'm working on him.
All right, then. I have to say, everyone's looking pretty marvelous. Very swanky. Lots of good outfits. Not enough piracy for me, though, but, you know, I don't mind being the only one. Makes you stand out just a little bit. But speaking of Artigan, Jester, are you his man on the inside? Or is he your man on the inside?
I promise he has told me absolutely nothing. I think the game is way more fun that way. And I was kind of hoping he might pick Fjord to be a traitor, because then they could get some one-on-one time and they could get to know each other. Oh, but speaking of people who have been having some one-on-one time.
Oh, who's that? Hi, who's been having some one-on-one time?
Well, I don't know for sure, but I know that Artie said something about the dark-haired twin boy from Vox Machina. Apparently they had a special intimate moment in the Feywild.
One floor up in a reception room, Yasha and Beau are having a conversation. So, I think it's kind of cool that we can both pick each other up because we're both, like, super strong and super fit, and are you calling me super fit? Yeah, I mean, like, whatever, but, you know, like, you are. I mean, you are. too, I suppose. Ah, nice. So have you got anyone you're, like, actually suspicious of? I know we kind of were back and forth on that Scanlan guy. Like, I mean, I guess he was cool, but it was really weird. I don't know yet. I thought that the, Percival behaved oddly at Jenga. I do not know if I believe he truly was as bad as he made out, although he may just be bad at games. I mean, that's a fair point. Maybe we should watch him at the next challenge, yeah? Yeah, alright. So we'll both watch Percy. Yeah, let's look out for him. At the far end of the castle, just past the library, Vex and Vax, the twins, stand in a room looking at each other. How are you feeling, brother? I am a little anxious, but I suppose that's to be expected. It's all a little strange, and it feels a little, cooped up. The castle is vast, but it feels a little stifling at times. Yes. I suppose I am anxious too. Do you have any, suspicions? I know we didn't really think it was Scanlan. No, I didn't think it was Scanlan. Well, who do you think it is, sister? Jester. She's far too happy to be here. Jester. A good observation, sister. Perhaps we should watch her today. Yes. Let's watch who we think are the traitors today. A couple of doors away in the library sit Keyleth and Percy. We must be rational about this. We must be logical. We must come at this with a tactic of some sort. Maybe there was a clue I overlooked in that Jenga game, but I do not think it told us a lot at all, really. We do not know each other well enough to know when someone is truly failing and when they are pretending to fail. We didn't really think it was Scanlan, did we? No, we did not. But I must admit it will probably be a lot quieter in the castle now he is gone, and a lot more easy to concentrate. Yes, I suppose you're right. Do you have any actual suspicions, then? I think it's Caleb. Really? Yes. Why? He is clever. I saw that immediately. And the way he has been looking at all of us. Are you saying you don't like the way he's been looking at you, Percy? It is more than that, Keyleth. I know, it's just... Don't take this the wrong way, Percy, but don't you think that maybe you're just a little threatened by him? Threatened? By Caleb? I mean, you are a little similar. You're both very clever and very intelligent men, and I just think maybe if you worked together, it would work better. Well, maybe that's right, but I still have my suspicions. Well, maybe do a keep your enemies close kind of gameplay? I suppose there could be some merit in that. I shall try not to make any assumptions too soon. Across the hall and down a little ways, in a room with cosy armchairs, sit Nott and Caleb and Caduceus.
I don't trust that Grog guy.
Why not?
He's too big. I can't see his face properly, and I can't tell if he's glaring at me like a traitor, or smiling at me like a faithful, or smiling at me like a traitor, or glaring at me like a faithful.
I want to get to know Percival. He seems clever, and I want to know what his strategy is.
You gonna work together with him, Caleb? Two clever people leading the charge. I reckon you could do it.
Maybe. We'll see what he wants to do. I do not think he trusts any of us just yet. It would be foolish to try to run to him immediately. It would make him suspicious.
Yeah, all right. Tread careful, but try to get him on side. Yeah?
I think so, yes. I wonder what kind of tea Percy and Grog like. It can tell you a lot about a person. Vax, meanwhile, has gone down the back staircase and bumps into someone. Well, hello, pretty raven boy. Gosh, am I glad to see you. Oh, hello, rainbow chaos of a man. Oh, that's the nicest nickname I've ever heard. So, how's it going, pretty raven boy? I am fine. How are you, Molly Mork? Molly to my friends. Then you can call me Molly. Alright, how are you, Molly? Well, well, what's my brother up to now? Wait, who's coming? Hey guys, scatter! What is going on? Hey brother. Hey brother.
Hello, everyone. What's going on here?
And I walk away. Absolutely nothing is going on. Nothing for you to be concerned about. Me brother's right. Nothing going on. I can attest to that.
I'm suspicious of all of you.
And now, dear players, we come to the challenge for today. Today is a pairs game, so we're going to pull your names out of the air and randomly assign you a teammate. Once you're in pairs, you're going to have to decide by fighting amongst yourselves which one of you is going to be blindfolded and which one of you is going to have the sight and see and guide your pair. Oh, did I forget to mention you're going to be tied together and you're going to have to make your way through that patch of trees and brambles and sticky bog marshes all the way to the end over there. On the way, you can collect 1 or 2 treasure chests. The closest and easiest to reach contains some gold coins. The one that's a little further away and a little harder to reach contains a shield. You might want to go for both, but don't forget it's on a time limit, so don't go wasting time going for both of them if you're not going to make it back at all. Because if both sets of feet are not across that finish line over there before your timer is up, then anything you two have won will not count. So, decide amongst your pairs who wants to lead, who wants to be blindfolded. Who do you trust the most to lead you with no sight? Ooh, it's going to be fun. So, here are the pairs. Oh, look, Caduceus, no offense meant or anything, but I'm literally a pirate. I navigate, I steal, I am amazing at this kind of thing. I am the plank king. Why don't you just pop the blindfold on and let's get this done, yeah? Well, I would agree, but I do think, in a way, slow and steady can win the race, and much as I have respect for your piratical endeavors, I do get the feeling you may hasten through this, and I think that the person who can see may need to have an eye on the time limit, an eye on what's best for the group, and maybe just this once you could give someone else the reins. What say you, Plank King? You know what? Fair enough. You've convinced me. Alright. I'll pop the blindfold on. It's been a while. Alright. Why not? Alright, Grog, let's make this simple. You put the blindfold on and I will lead us to victory. Yes?
I don't know how I feel about that. I cannot trust you if I have a blindfold on. Look at what you have done in the past.
Grog, I'm not going to shave you halfway through a challenge.
I don't know that.
Grog, which of the two of us is the nimbler, the faster, and, quite literally, the sneaky rogue?
Well, I would have to say you.
Exactly. So, trust me this one time. Come on, Grog.
All right, fine. I'll wear the blindfold.
Hey, buddy, when you go last with me, do you want me to wear the blindfold and then you can have a go at leading?
Oh, Pike. I'd love to.
All right, then. Well, I do not mind wearing the blindfold if you want to lead us, Percy.
No, no, absolutely not. It would not be chivalrous. I shall wear the blindfold and put my literal blind faith in you to lead us, Jester.
All right, then, if you say so.
I'm going to regret this, aren't I?
Well, I'm not wearing it.
Oh, honey, you are so unadventurous. Well, I've done far weirder for far less, so, alright, I'll wear the blindfold. Well, I suppose I do not mind. I will wear the blindfold if you would rather lead.
No, that's all right. I trust you. You seem strong and dependable. I'll wear the blindfold and just try not to go too fast.
Hello, Caleb. So, I think I could do quite well as a leader. I could lead us through, and if I saw you starting to veer into a bush, I could pull you out of the way.
I mean, you would have to, as we would both be going into The bush. Oh, yes, because we'd be tied together. But I would try, and I promise to do a good job, unless you would rather lead. My first instinct, I must admit, is not to be blinded and then put into the hands of somebody else, but then again, I do that quite a lot when I am looking through the eyes of my cat Frumpkin. So, perhaps, all right. All right, yes. You can lead us, and I shall wear the blindfold.
Look, lady, just 'cause you're tall and elegant and elf-like doesn't mean I'm going to trust you with my life.
I mean, I hardly think it's your life, darling. It's just a little game.
Still, why don't you wear the blindfold and let me lead you if it's just a game?
Well, because it's a game I want to win.
'Cause you're a traitor!
We want to win money as faithfuls, remember?
But traitors want to win too.
I mean, sure, but me wanting to win does not a traitor make me.
Yeah, well, I don't trust you.
Yes, well, I'm not sure I trust you either, but we do have to work together.
Well, there must be a fair way to decide this.
Boulder parchment shears?
All right. 1, 2, 3, go! Ha ha ha!
Well, all right then, but if you lead me into a bush, you will never hear the end of it. Well, isn't this delightful? You're all tied together, and oof, those of you in blindfolds, you look divine. Vaxeldan, I'm disappointed in you. But no matter. Let the games begin. Caduceus and Kingsley, you are up first. Caduceus is true to his word, slow and steady, but they do win the race. They get to the coins in the first treasure chest with ease, and they manage to avoid the low-hanging tree branches, neither of them getting so much as a bruise. They skirt around all the bramble bushes carrying their coins, and neither of them end up in the deep, dark swamp. They get straight to the finish line, Caduceus saying he didn't want to go for the shield and risk missing the time limit. They get coins, but no shield, but are both successfully across the line with time to spare. Vax leads Grog swiftly to the first treasure chest. They skirt around the bushes, only getting a couple of scratches here and there. After they've obtained the coins, things start to go downhill. Vax keeps saying, "Your other right, no, your other left," as they skirt around the marshy swamp. And then they wobble, they stutter, they stumble, and Vax ends up on his knees as Grog topples sideways. They both, with a splash, get covered in mud. Vax says they shouldn't go for the shield now and they should just make for the finish line, and they do, with only seconds to spare. But they do have some coins to their name. Jester is very excited by the game, possibly a little too excited, and while Percy mumbles under his breath, "Chivalry is not dead, chivalry is not dead," Jester still leads him with a bounding hop and a skip, dragging him along as they're tied together. He stumbles a little and they both get scratched by the bushes, but they do obtain the treasure. And then they make a bolt for the shield, Jester shouting, "Left, right, left, right, left, right," as they run faster and faster, holding each other tight by the waist. And then they've got it. They've opened the box, got the shield out, and they turn, making it back towards the exit. Quick as a gazelle, just as it's falling over, they do reach the finish line, and both their feet are only just over it as the time comes to an end. Artigan claps and Jester laughs. Percy just looks relieved the whole thing is over. Beau and Molly get off to a rough start as they both walk in the opposite direction to each other. Eventually, they hold on to each other's hands and slowly make their way through the bramble bushes, ducking under the trees. They get the bag of coin, and then have a whispered discussion about whether or not to go for the shield. Eventually, with a fuck it, they both make a break for it. Not as fast as Jester and Percy, nor as coordinated, but they do make it there, grabbing onto the shield, knocking the box over, and then turning back to see their time is rapidly running out. Beau ends up breaking out into a sprint, practically dragging Molly across the finish line, but a second shield and more coin has been added to the pot. Yasha and Fjord play a fairly unremarkable game, but that's not an insult. They don't get bruised, they don't get cut, they manage to avoid the swamp. They slowly and carefully make it to the coin treasure chest, get the coins out, and then decide almost in sync not to try to go for the shield, and they walk across the finish line with at least a minute to spare. Coins added, no shield though. Caleb and Keyleth set off slowly. They get the coin from the first treasure chest with ease, narrowly avoiding some brambles. Caleb does hit his head on an overhanging tree branch, to which Keyleth apologises. As they're stepping around the swamp slowly and carefully, they discuss whether or not to go for the shield. They still have plenty of time left. Caleb agrees, and so they make a break for it, carefully but a little bit faster, heading towards the shield box. But then they fall, they stagger and stumble. Caleb falls first, managing to catch Keyleth a little before she hits the ground. He apologizes greatly, and their timer runs out. No coins and no shield added to the pot. Vex is tentative when they first set off, but as Nott manages to guide them both around the bramble bushes with barely a scrape and under all the low-hanging tree branches towards the first treasure chest, they pick up the handful of treasure, and they both seem to relax just a little. Unfortunately, as they make it around the swamp, Nott starts to slow down, saying they have to be more careful. She really doesn't want them to fall in. The water looks nasty and gross, and she grips Vex a little tighter. They end up not going for the shield and instead make it across the finish line with about 20 seconds to spare, but both are delighted to not have fallen in, got muddy, or got particularly injured. Grog and Pike work together possibly the best of everybody, but Pike is so small and Grog is so large that they end up moving a lot slower than everyone else. Grog carefully negotiates them around the bramble bushes, both of them ducking carefully under the trees and over the roots. They get huge handfuls of treasure from the chest, but ultimately decide not to go for the shield, as Grog wants to carefully get them around the oozing bog without worrying about time. So they step carefully around and around the side and cross the finish line with a good minute to spare. No shield, but they're both safe and well and have added some coin. The questions that every player is going to answer today are: what animal would a traitor be? And who do you think is one of the traitors?
I think a traitor will be a big horse, and I think maybe Nott is a traitor.
I think a traitor would be a rhinoceros, and I think that Grog is a traitor.
I think that a traitor would be a fox, and I suspect Percy is a traitor. I think a traitor would be a wolf, and I believe Caleb is one of the traitors.
I think maybe a traitor would be a falcon, and I kind of think Beau is a traitor right now.
I think a traitor would be a stink bug, and I reckon Percy's one. That dude's well sus. I think a traitor would be a weasel, and right now, I think Percy. I reckon a traitor would be a bat, and I think Pike might be one.
I think a traitor would be a snake, and I think Kingsley is one. He was watching me down the corridor, and then he went to warn the other two. So I reckon it's Vax, Molly, and Kingsley, and they're all in it together.
A traitor is an animal, got to be a kraken, and I reckon Pike is one. She was skulking around in the corridor, she was watching us. That is definitely the behaviour of a traitor. For the animal, I'm thinking a snake, and right now, I think Percy is a traitor.
Ooh, a traitor as an animal? I think a huge alligator. And I kind of think that Vex might be a traitor now. I don't know, there's just something strange about her, and the way she looks at her brother too. Definitely suspicious.
A traitor would be a crow, and I think Jester is one. A raven, and I think Jester is a traitor. I think a traitor could be some sort of badger, and if I had to guess right now, I'd probably pick Grog. I'm not sure why, but Grog. Later that night, up in Traitors Tower, a lengthy discussion was had between the three traitors. Names were bandied about, but one name was decided on at last. The name of the person who was going to be murdered that night. And that person, sadly, is Kingsley Tealeaf. A cold dawn breaks, and as everyone rises and heads down to breakfast, they realise who is missing. Mollymork is absolutely distraught. A tear trickles down his cheek and he shouts that he demands they get justice and banish all the traitors who did this to his brother. Pike watches him with narrowed eyes, not sure if she believes this performance or not, and she whispers to other members of the Mighty Nein. Molly accuses Pike of being a traitor, saying that she had been skulking round the corridors, listening in to conversations. She'd seen him and Vax and Kingsley, and now she was picking them off for some reason. Yasha comforts Molly with an arm around his shoulders and tries to convince everyone not to turn it into a huge argument. Caduceus nods, walking around pouring everyone tea. Vax edges over to Molly and drops into the seat next to him. He nudges him gently on the elbow, and Molly gives him a small smile. Keyleth turns to Vex and asks what Vax was doing talking to Mollymork. Vex says she doesn't know. But what do you make of all of this? What do you think was going on in episode 2? Who do you think the traitors might be? Who do you want to get banished next episode? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if there's anyone you'd like to protect with the shields, we've got 2 available. So pick your favourite character to protect from murder and tell me who they are in the comments down below as well. And if you've got any questions you want the characters to answer next episode, chuck those in as well. As always, yes, you can ask, are you a traitor? But you are not guaranteed to get an honest answer back. Alright, that brings us to the end of episode 2. Thank you for enjoying this chaos with me, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.